Hello. Welcome back to Does This Work? I'm here with Nikki Justice.
Hello.
There'll be applause here so it doesn't sound so awkwardly silent. I'll have effects in afterwards. Thank you for joining me, Nikki. How you been?
Yeah, not too bad. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you. So you're coming straight from school drop?
Yes, yeah. I've been deep in mum life. So,
Yeah.
school run this morning. And
Yeah.
Here.
Well, I've managed to send my wife out to do it for me today so I can set all this up again. But yeah. So you've been busy. You're touring and stuff?
No, so I was touring all of last year. So this year I'm actually on a bit of a hiatus. I've got some personal things to attend to.
Cool.
It's the best way I can say it at the moment for legal reasons. I've just I've actually taken a big step back from touring, and I'm doing stand up for the time being. I'm still working on still working on jokes and stuff behind the scenes, but I've focused all my attention to doing online comedy while I have needed to, because I kind of just needed to prioritize being at home because I was away so much last year. And this year my family has needed me, so it's actually been really good. Like, I kind of got forced into doing online comedy and it's going quite well.
Yeah, well, I've seen the clips popping up online and the interactions are insane.
Yeah.
But even your stand-up, like crowd work stuff, when you are doing stand-up, that stuff goes pretty...
Yeah, I was actually pleasantly surprised. I've only put a couple of stand-up clips up, but they've actually gone pretty well. So I need to get around to editing more of those.
Yeah. So take me back in time then. So when did you start comedy?
2021. I believe it was May. I think it was May or June, maybe.
Cool. And what was the prompt? What was the catalyst? Like, obviously, because I had someone ask me the other day, and I could tell it was a leading question because they wanted to know themselves. Have you always wanted to try comedy, Jared? And I was like, yeah, always. And what got you to the...
Yeah.
You know, and it was for them because they wanted to do as well. So how long have you wanted to do it for between getting up and doing it?
I wouldn't say I was like, oh, I really want to do comedy. But what would happen was I was seeing other people do comedy. So you would know John Pinder, local Perth comedian. He used to be my tattoo artist. So he did my sleeve, he did my back. And so I've known him for, like, before he even started comedy, I knew him. And then I knew him when he was going to open mics. And then he progressed to, like, he was doing really well. And so eventually I went and saw him. And that was, like, the first time I'd gone and saw a local comedy show. And I remember seeing a couple of female comedians. And as soon as I saw them, I was like, oh, I was like a little bit envious. I was like, oh, I want to do that.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh, I reckon I could do that. Because I remember seeing Simone Springer was one of them.
Yeah.
And Sian Choice. And I saw both of them doing it, and I would leave because I saw them a few times, and I would always leave going, oh, that'd be cool. Like, I'd love to do that. And I'd think that I could do it, but then I'd never think about it again.
Yeah.
And then how I ended up doing comedy was fast forward. So 2021, by then I had gone through some really big life changes. So I had suddenly found myself a single parent after being married for 10 years and was recently divorced. And as you do when you're going through life changes, and I was newly single, so I was like trying all these new hobbies and stuff, and I guess as a way to try and make myself feel better as well, because I was going through a hard time. So I was like, I was doing burlesque classes, and I'd also gone back to stripping at the time, so that was how I was making ends meet back then. And then it was during COVID, so we'd had some COVID lockdowns. And then during one of the lockdowns, I was just posting all this funny stuff, what I thought was funny, on my Instagram stories. And another local Perth comedian, Mick Gledhill, he commented on one of my posts one day, #comedian. And that planted the seed. Like, literally, I was like, yeah, maybe I could be a comedian. Maybe I could.
Yeah.
And then within days, it was like I just had these jokes forming in my head, and I practiced them in front of the mirror while I was doing my makeup. And
that's great. Just got the hairbrush. Yeah.
Pretty much. And then I decided, because I was like cracking myself up.
Yeah. That's a good sign, at least. Yeah.
Yeah. And then so I filmed myself telling these jokes, sent them to a few, like a sample group of friends, and I was like, is this funny? And they were like, yes. And so I did, I signed up for an open mic, and then that happened like within a week or two.
That's great.
And never looked back.
And how were you on stage? Like, were you, because I have an acting background, so I was not super nervous to be on stage, but it was more the...
I think because of my background in stripping,
All right.
I was fine.
Yeah.
I was quite comfortable. I loved the limelight.
Yeah.
No, I really enjoyed it.
It's funny. I shouldn't mention. I won't mention his name. But I was, have you ever done a roast battle before?
The only time I've done a roast battle, it never ended up happening, but we wrote the joke. So
Right.
me and Aves Robbins were paired against each
Oh,
other.
yeah, cool.
And we had some good jokes because we ended up swapping them, but we didn't get to do them.
Right. Because there's this guy that I used to know, and when I was introduced to him, I said to the person who introduced us, the guy looks like he introduces strippers, because he just looked the type. I don't know what it meant, but they laughed. They're like, have you seen him, have you? And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, that's what he does as a job. He's like, welcome to the stage, Sapphire. That's just that's what he does as a job. I was like, oh no, I've never I've never seen him before. Well, that's cool. So then the inspiration for the first few jokes came from where?
So pretty much my first few years in comedy, I was all just sort of making jokes about my misfortunes, and my childhood. So I drew on my childhood a lot, and my just things that had gone wrong.
Yeah.
Which formed my first show. But what I found after doing that for a year, it was kind of almost like a therapeutic process. But then, and my first show was quite dark. And then what I found by the end of it is I didn't want to do it anymore. Right. And I was like, I feel like I've, processed this now. And I actually want my I want my new material to be lighter and a bit more, like I still had fun with my other one, but it was funny but heavy topics. Yeah. And I don't want that heaviness anymore. Although it's fucking hard because I really thought I was going to start this year fresh and things were going great. And then we had another curveball in my personal life this year, which I'm going to try really hard not to make jokes about this time because I'm sick of trauma dumping in my comedy.
Is it kind of something that people are expecting?
Not really. It's so hard to even talk about this situation because
without talking about it.
There's legal reasons why I can't. So I think it's going to be something that I might just, for once in my life, keep private.
Just pushed it. Yeah, because we have a habit of doing that where it's like there's something going on but I can't mention what it is. Yeah. There's people in my life that do that. They're like, I can't say anything about this, but this is what's happening.
But it's been a big learning curve. So I guess I will it will still inform my comedy because I've been basically forced to step back from what I was doing, and it's really made me have a lot of time for introspection because I'm quite homebound these days. I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot about myself. I'm learning a lot about what I do and don't want to be, or who I do and don't want to be. I've grown a lot as well. I'm freaking 40.
41.
And I think one of the most important things in life is to never stop growing and learning. And every time I have another growth spurt, I'm literally like, I'm not the same person I was 6 months ago than I was a year ago. So I guess I'm still going through it now, but when I get to the end of it, I'm looking forward to this next version of me and my next version of comedy.
Yeah, that's true. I think because we're the same age-ish, so when we're kids, you look at your parents, right, or any adult, really, anyone that's over 30, and you're like, they must have their life put together by then, and then they're done, right? Yeah. As in, they're done. They've got their job, they've got their whatever they do on the weekend, and then their routine is locked in for the rest of the time. But we, like millennials, are growing up going, maybe I want to do this time, and I feel like we're constantly reinventing ourselves.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a good thing. I don't think it's ever too late. You're ever too late. I mean, my dad, this is the first podcast that I've shot since my dad passed. And at his eulogy, I shared a very heartfelt message that he sent me when I sent him a message saying that I got my first paid comedy spot. Mm-hmm. And it's just this like really nice paragraph of like that how proud he is of me and stuff. And he was a very funny guy, and he should have.
So you got to send that message and he responded?
He responded. Yeah. This was before he passed. It was about a year before he passed, but also. Yeah. But it was something that I had saved
nice
on my phone.
Yeah.
And just how he's.
Sorry about your dad.
Thank you. Yeah. And he was a funny guy as well. And it's funny because he did that. And he just he moved here from Sri Lanka, and he just got a full-time job,
Yeah.
and that was it. And then I always felt like he could have been an entertainer. Like he was.
Yeah.
He was a funny guy, like naturally really quick-witted. And he was just a prankster. He was such a and I said this at his eulogy. He was a real prankster. Like he used to throw dead snakes on people's balconies in Sri Lanka. He used to move like street signs around. He was cheeky. And even quick-witted. Like there was a soccer match on, and he was in this like night market thing, and he was with friends, and this guy that everyone knew came in. His name was Liver, and my dad's friend said he's called Liver because he's a huge fan of Liverpool, and he goes, "Oh, it's a good thing he's not a fan of Arsenal." Because us.
I was trying to put that together in my head. I'm sorry, you'll learn this about me. I'm so dumb. I'm like, I've been described as the smartest dumb person you ever meet. I'm like the last person to get the joke sometimes.
Anyway, he's very quick like that. And then, but I said this at his eulogy. I was like, he's such a prankster that he passed away on April 1st. Yeah. And then this is not true, but like the joke is like, you know how hard it is to ring family and friends and tell them on April Fool's Day your dad's passed away, and then hang up on you. But it's great. I feel like
I love that you've already like it's fresh, and you've already like you're part of the club now, the Dead Dads Club, and the dark humor in Dead Dads Club. There's a few of us in it. It's fun.
Yeah. I know, because I feel like people like, even when I said it last night. No, Sunday night.
Yeah.
And even then I saw like a couple. My wife is in the audience. She's like,
yeah.
what are you doing?
It's funny because it's like you're obviously still grieving and you're still very sad.
Yeah.
But how good does it feel to laugh about the person that you loved, and in memory of the person that you loved, with other people? I think it's quite therapeutic.
Yeah, knowing that he would have laughed at that as well makes it easier. Like he was a real. We made each other laugh. He never made it to a comedy gig, but my wife would send him clips and stuff, reels, and he would forward it to other people. And when we went into his office, my sister and I went into his office, he had things pinned up on his pin-up board of acting things and, birthday card, Father's Day cards.
Nice.
Yeah, it was lovely. So, yeah, anyway, to digress from Dead Dad stuff. So, were you like the funny person in school?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I was I've always been, I guess in my social group, I've always been a bit of like the funny one. But yes, school, I don't know. I don't even, my memory's so bad. I was a little bit, what would I say? I wasn't actually very social when I was a kid.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I think I tried to be. I think because I now, as a mum, and I've got children, and some of them are neurodivergent, and I'm looking at them, I'm like, oh, maybe that's why mum had no friends. So I actually, like I don't think I had the opportunity to shine as a funny person in high school because I didn't have a very big friend group. That came later.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Yeah, because I think we're either the people that come into comedy are either just the social outcasts or they were the class clown.
Yeah.
It's normally one. But I mean, I was sort of the class clown-ish.
Yeah.
But I was sort of friends with everyone. I was kind of sort of typical people pleaser. So I would just never like to upset anyone. I never like to be on the outs with anyone. And then so when you get into comedy, did you find it natural to just talk about your stuff from history, stripping, and do you feel like people were wanting more of that stuff? Like, were you
I think, I don't know if I was really noticing whether or not people wanted more of it. I think I was just doing it because that's what I had to talk about. And it's definitely, my comedy it's not for everyone because there's people that sort of stay in a middle kind of lane and a bit more relatable to other people. Whereas if you're doing darker or edgy comedy, but what I did find is that the same jokes evolved over time depending on like me and how I delivered them. So I was able to make things that weren't relatable and didn't used to not do as well or like I guess get as many people in, and then finding a way, if you find a way to make something that, there's people who've had experiences that most people haven't had. And if you find a way to relate that back to something very normal or something most people experience, then they find a way to connect with it.
Yeah.
So I think you can sort of joke about anything. And I found that I was starting to get better of that,
Yeah.
better at that towards the end of my tour last year. But it's been a big learning process. And I have actually found that, do you know what? I don't want to be the dark, edgy comedian all the time. Like I want to do a bit more lighthearted stuff, but that was just sort of how I started.
Well, there is something about clean comedy that is so universally accepted, and you can get booked in more places.
Exactly. I mean, I say
more.
that, and now my online comedy, I'm fully leaning into the adult stuff.
Yeah.
But that's been out of necessity because I'm not touring anymore. So now I make my income online, and that's the niche that's making me money at the moment. So I've had to lean right into it, and sometimes it's like, I really wish I like. Sometimes I hate it. Sometimes I'm like, this is fucking cringe, but then it works and it makes me money, and so I'm like, fuck it, I'll just have to stick it out. And
well, I was scrolling through again to just have a little bit of research, and I saw the butter churning one. I'm like really glad that no one walked in while I was like, okay, let's have a quick do my homework and check into Nikki's sort of.
That was actually a friend of mine. It was his idea. So my old tattoo mentor, I don't think you would have met him, but he's done a couple of open mics now. So he wanted to do comedy as well. And so even though he wasn't doing much comedy, he was like my, I would bounce all my joke ideas off him and stuff. Anyway, so he occasionally sends me ideas, and it was actually his idea for the butter churning. That
was going to be my next question, was that you just coming up with it? And how do you come up with the online stuff as opposed to the stage stuff? Like, is it...
Sometimes it happens by accident.
Yeah.
Like, I was at... I haven't released this skit yet, but I was at the park the other day and I was swinging on a swing, and then while I'm swinging, I was like, I'm a swinger, and then I'm like, I could make a joke here. So now I've got a joke about I'm gonna misdirect an online skit, and I'm gonna misdirect about being a swinger now. And then it's just me going, wee!
Just a big child. Is that how you write? Like, you look for a classic misdirect?
I think I always try and include a misdirect of some kind, because otherwise the joke, like, you don't want them to know. The whole point of a joke is that they don't expect the outcome. So I do usually try and incorporate some kind of misdirect. I'm working on a new bit at the moment that came to me recently, and I'm still trying to figure out the mechanics of it and whether I want to have the reveal right at the top and then go into it more, or whether I want to build it up more and have and when you're at the beginning of a joke and you don't know whether this is going to be the main punchline yet, or maybe it'll be a later punchline.
Or it's a tag.
Yeah, exactly. But I like this, and I haven't been doing much comedy until, like, I'm trying to write again now. And I get excited. Like, you come up with one little idea, and for me personally, I always know, I'm like, this is going to be a good bit, but I don't have it yet, and I don't know how it's going to be a good bit. I just have this gut feeling that I'm like, I don't know how to make it, how it's going to, I don't know what it's going to look like. And this one little idea could end up being a 5-minute bit by the end of it, but I know it's going to become a good bit. And that's how I feel about this one concept I've had.
That stuff is exciting though, when you get that, when you're like, this is something. Because I had the same thing, and it might be the same with your bit, right? But when you think, I don't know if I'm going to say, if I have to inform the crowd at the top, like educate them, because I have this bit where I'm like, I don't quite know how to word it, but it's, I can always tell, especially when we were first married, whenever my wife had her period, because she'd always come out of the bathroom with fun facts, right? So the joke is like, the Libra things have like fun facts written inside. So I tried it once. I'm trying to word it properly. And the women laughed. The guys were like smiling, but like with that confused.
I as a woman, I can say I did not know.
Oh, really? Okay. The women laughed.
I did not know. I'm sure a lot of people would.
Yeah.
I am one of those people that I don't take in my surroundings. I'm like, so I've never noticed that there are fun facts.
Yeah. Well,
or maybe I'm just not a Libra girl. Tom's organic.
Free bleeding they're doing now. Go sit on the grass. Anyway, so that was the main thing, and it's hard because if they don't know or they don't use that product or whatever, then you've got to either educate them at the top, which kind of ruins the joke, or you educate the ones that don't get it afterwards. You know, for those of you that didn't get that, blah, 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 and then educate them afterwards.
Yeah, it's tricky.
And then the joke leads into like, I could always tell she'd come out of the bathroom and be like, do you know the Galapagos turtles have sex for 4 hours? I'm like, you've got your period, don't you? You know, and then we were trying for a baby. I could tell when it didn't work because she was like, octopus have 3 hearts. You know, which is really sad.
Yeah.
So it's fun. Yeah, you got to sort of
okay. I can
play
see
around.
how that would work. And have you read or met? He did come over here and did workshops. Adam Bloom.
Yeah, I got his book there.
Finding Your Comic Genius.
He was actually my first guest.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, is he up there?
He's not. I didn't start doing this until later on.
Yeah. Do you know what I did? Because when I had my podcast and I had a Polaroid camera as well, and the couple of times that it wouldn't work, I would just take a picture on my phone and then edit it and then like print it out. And
That's a good idea. I might do that.
So that way you can still have your little.
Yeah, I think I'll do that with him. Yeah, because I did take a photo of him, so I might do that. But it just feels like a bit of a cheat. Don't let me let you leave before I get you, because you can see the ones where I've gone back and like made sure to like the lounge and email. But yeah. So you don't do much open mic stuff, hey?
No, but not because. So last year I wasn't doing much open mics just because I was touring all the time, and so I kind of treated my tour, because I was touring my own show. So because I was doing my own solo show and I had a lot of more stage time, if I wanted to try something new, I would just try out. With them. I would still occasionally, if I wanted to run a brand new bit, I would occasionally do the odd, but I just wasn't home enough. I was pretty much away 1 week on, 1 week off for the better part of last year to work around what my kids' schedule was. But the week that I was home, I just was mum mode. So, but then this year, I'm also not doing open mics, but that's for other reasons. But I do want to get back to doing open mics because I do think they're so valuable in honing your material. But it's definitely hard. It's a hard juggle. Like when you're starting comedy and you're not making a proper living from it yet, but you want to get better, so you have to dedicate so much time to it. But if you're also working, if you're also a mum, it's really hard to make that time to go to them when you've got all this other life stuff going on. And
you're right, it is such a necessity as well to honing stuff. But you see so many pros turn up to a place that has 7 people in the audience and then just rattle off jokes and try and get them. If you can get those 7 people to laugh, then you'll go tick, that'll work.
I see a lot of pros that will literally walk on stage with their notebook at an open mic, and you can tell they've just gotten to that level where they just don't give a fuck. They're just like, whereas we're like nervous and we want them to like us and we're devastated if we bomb, and they're just like, next.
Well, for the first time, I hosted the Subiaco Bar and Bistro. I'm partnering with them and doing open mic every Sunday, and I emceed that one. And I usually don't MC. It's not because I'm just too lazy. That's all. Trying to get up in front of a crowd and again and again and again and keep track of who's on next and stuff. So that night I didn't.
I'm not a good MC. I forget. I forget people's names. I get distracted, so I'm not paying attention when I'm meant to be.
You're just chatting like am I done, Nikki? Have I got?
I can do it, but I find it really hard to like. I'm like, I have to pay attention. Whoa, what's that?
I kept forgetting to set the timers. And then I was taking photos as well. But anyway, I jump up and I hadn't prepared anything. So I was just chatting to the crowd and then I was throwing some jokes here, and it actually turned out to be all right because there's stuff popping in my head that I've been wanting to say, but not quite. And then, I was seeing people nodding and smiling. So it's good to sort of, I don't really do crowd work much. I'm very, I was going to ask you, but I digress too much. But before I started comedy, I just researched, right? I read books, I watched podcasts, and I was over prepared. And coming from an acting background, it was just memorizing a script, right? It was not allowing for hecklers or to be a bit free-flowing. It was just all really rigid. And then that's how I started. It was good, but it was very performative.
Yeah.
And it wasn't natural. Do you find that you were the same way when you first got on stage, or did you find that you were just like, you love being in front of a crowd and you were just natural at it?
I feel like I feel like it was only towards the end of last year that I was starting to feel more natural on stage. And the nights that I would come off stage where I just felt present and in flow, and they were the best nights ever, because instead of just powering through your set, you'd be like, something would happen and you could riff on it, and or some new ideas would pop in, and that can't happen if you're just like going at it. But also some people need to, like, I've got a really bad memory, and so for the first few years of comedy, I'm like, I'm not going to remember my set, and so I couldn't really just relax and lean into it. Whereas because I toured the same show all year last year, by the end of it I was like, okay, I know this off by heart. And so I could get on stage, and it was happening more and more towards the end of the year, because I'm coming up to my 5th year in comedy, and I feel like I'm only just now finding that, not at the moment because I'm on a break, but I was just finding that ease on stage starting to happen, but it's not every time, and I'm like, oh, I just wish I could like bottle that and do that every time I get on stage. And then there's other times where my nerves get the better of me, and I feel like I'm not as connected.
Present. Yeah. Have you bombed much?
I don't think I don't often have bad bombs. I'm trying to think of like any super bad ones.
Or any like just awful heckles or anything like that?
I don't actually like I don't actually have. I've been asked this question before. I don't have a good heckle story. I don't think I've ever had a really bad one.
I don't really allow for heckle. I think that's how paced my stuff is.
Yeah.
I just power through.
Yeah. But I find heckling hard because I do have that bad memory. And what I find is if they distract me from my material, I can try and interact with them, but then I can't remember where I was.
Find your place.
But that also was a learning curve that got better and better at last year. And I did find I used to just try and skip over. If people were talking, I would try and just like skip over it.
Yeah.
Whereas last year I started having a bit more fun with it. Like I remember one gig it was in Queensland somewhere up north. Can't remember the name of the town. But it was a really fun gig. And there was this dude right at the front, and he just had something to say and he was loving it. But he had something to add to almost every bit. And then I can't even remember what I said to him, but I ended up just roasting him, but it was so fun and the audience loved it and he was a good sport. Yeah. But also I was like, okay, shut the fuck up now. Yeah. You've had your time.
Yeah. It's funny. Yeah. I find the same thing, right? So when I'm really, you know how your eyes go to someone who's not laughing? So it's weird to not acknowledge someone who's like, oh, you didn't like that one, or they've got a weird laugh or something. Yeah, it's becoming more natural now to stop and point it out.
That's really good. Yeah. Because that's something that, again, I've only just started learning that as well. Like, I feel like I only just started learning everything at the end, like towards the end of last year. Because I remember the same thing. Like, if I used to see someone frowning or whatever, I would kind of just try and look past them and not acknowledge them. But at the same time, it was eating at me and it was denting my confidence. And so instead what I started doing was trying to connect to that person. Like if you'd be like, did that ever happen to you? Or like, and look at them directly. And if you can sort of try and break down whatever little wall they've got up, even if you're a bit much for them, you can break down those barriers and they'll end up relaxing and having a better time.
I think some people just don't. I've had feedback afterwards where I've seen people in the crowd just sort of crack a smile, but not really. It's kind of like they think it's like they're thinking, I get what he's saying, but when they've come up to me afterwards and they've gone, that was brilliant, that was so funny. Can you tell your face that? Because you look miserable.
I have had shows, and I guess because we're on stage and we're comparing everything to our best nights, where the crowd's just going off and you know you've crushed.
If you don't kill your bum.
There's that unmistakable feeling of, you know, a crush is a crush. Yeah. And then we're comparing everything to that. But then I can come off and I can be like, oh, that went all right. Yeah. But then the reaction from people when I've just felt like, oh, it was a bit meh, whatever. And then the reaction afterwards, I was like, okay, well, why weren't you saying, like, yeah, exactly. Like, why wasn't your laughter telling me that?
Yeah.
And some people, I guess it's just, it can really depend on, it can depend on lots of things. It's maybe they all are laughing the same as they were the last night, but you're in a different room and different, what's it called?
Like atmosphere?
Echo, and different
acoustics.
Yeah, and also maybe everyone was more tired that night. Maybe they were like, I've gone to comedy shows during festival season. I love to go and watch other people's comedy shows, but what I find is I'm fucking tired in festivals, and so I'm going to watch someone else's show. I'm enjoying it, but sometimes I'm sitting there quiet because I'm just fucking tired and I'm really enjoying myself. So you just you can really enjoy something but not be, which is devastating for a comedian.
Yeah, but as a comedian, you also know the science behind the joke and how they've written it. So there is more of an appreciation of how they got there rather than actually, like, I think comedians will laugh more at someone bombing a joke.
Yeah.
You can hear comedians laughing at the back all the time when someone doesn't do well because that's more entertaining for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they've heard you kill before. They're not going to laugh at the same jokes again and again.
Yeah.
So I've got a couple questions that people have written in. All right, I've literally just picked 3 out of the disgusting ones that you guys have sent in. Poor Nikki. From Harish Bhatti 007 is do more mad shit.
Okay, so Mad. I don't even know if I ever did an episode with Mad, or maybe did I? So Mad is, for those that don't know, is like a very big YouTube channel that my ex-boyfriend was on.
Right.
And I would occasionally be in the background on sets, and I would get talked about a lot about.
Yes,
So it's a very big YouTube channel, and they've got millions of, like, they get millions of views and stuff. And so there was this, like, even though my face hadn't been on, people, the Mad fans knew who I was because I was always referenced. But then my ex-boyfriend started his own channel with some of the former Mad members called the OG Crew, and I've been on that.
Right, that's what I'm familiar with.
So I don't think I'll be on Mad anytime soon, but I'm still occasionally on the OG Crew.
Yeah,
so I'm actually filming with them again soon, and I have got a few more eps coming out with them, but I'm just like an occasional guest.
Yeah, cool.
Sometimes.
Is it good? It's good fun. And how much notice? Like, how often do they film?
They do filming blocks like every couple of months.
That's over East, hey?
Yeah. I wasn't able to go, so I was asked to do some filming in January or Feb, and I couldn't do it just because I needed to be here for my family at the moment. I'm gonna do some soon, so it'll be good to get back to it. And they're really good. They are a family, and they're a really good bunch of people, and I love them. And so it is really fun on set. And I really love being part of it. And the episodes are always fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's great.
But yeah, maybe I should go on Mad. I wonder if that would like the rivalry, because there's already a rivalry. I wonder if Hamo's ex ends up on Mad.
All right, you should be ashamed of yourself. Ben Jones, 87 said, do you do butt stuff? Asking for friend. Ignore that one. That's terrible. You should be ashamed of yourself, Ben Jones, 87. When making a sandwich, do you cut down the center to make 2 rectangles or corner to corner to make 2 triangles?
I'm
Kit Adams, sorry.
Literally both, because I know that name rings a bell.
Yeah, he's a comedian.
Okay. Both, because I literally had a sandwich yesterday cut down the middle, and then other times I'm usually I feel like I'm more a triangle girl. Yeah. But yesterday I was a rectangle.
What's your favorite sandwich filling?
Ooh, I love a toasted sanger.
Yeah.
But I also, you can't go wrong with a nice fresh salad and ham and salad sandwich. It's nice with some mayo.
My favorite sandwich is a Cuban sandwich. Have you ever had a Cuban sandwich before?
Is that the one with the lots of different?
There's there's meat and it's meat. It's meat and cheese.
Lots of meat.
Yeah.
When I was in, I think it was Melbourne last year. Yeah, it was Melbourne Comedy Festival, and there was this little laneway. There's all little laneways full of amazing restaurants and stuff, and there was this place that did a Philly cheese steak, but it was a Korean cheese steak.
Cool.
And so it was Korean barbecue meat with cheese in this really soft, delicious bun. Oh my fucking god!
Do you cook much?
Good. So recently, because I'm like home so much
Yeah.
more, I have been getting back into cooking. I like cooking for like entertaining, but I sort of stopped loving cooking so much because my kids they don't like to be adventurous with their food. So I was cooking the same old thing, but I'm trying to incorporate. I've been going on a bit of a health kick with my family recently, and so I'm in the kitchen a lot more cooking.
Yeah, I'd love to cook. My
Trying to get a bit more. I'm trying to get my kids to be a little bit more adventurous.
Yeah.
I've had to just accept that we can't have veggies and everything, but
Yeah.
but we're trying new flavors and stuff like that.
My son's just getting. He's figured out. He's nearly 13, and he's only just figured out moving the veggies around the plate to make it look like you've eaten some.
Yeah.
Right, another terrible. I have to ask this because this is the only thing you guys want to know, you filthy bastards. Mai Tai has asked, how do you get a guy to like a finger in the butt? Well, in the pinch, but you know.
How do you get a guy?
And this could be not from personal experience, but just for information out there.
I can't tell you, Mr. Tai, your guy, because I've never tried to. People like what they like.
Just ask the question.
And it's not like I'm trying to, I really want you to like a finger in your bum for my benefit.
Boy, do I love putting my finger in men's butts. Ask the question.
Like if it was already their thing, I would know, whatever. But if I'm not going to, no, I can't answer that.
Just ask the question, all right? Just say, would you be able to do this? And they'll say yes or no, or they'll kick you to the curb. You know, who knows? But this is a dry run of questions coming in, so you're a guinea pig for me. And hopefully next time you guys will be.
Well, I don't think all your questions would always be like that. I think I reshared that. I recognise a couple of them as frequent commenters on my page, and I attract a certain type of audience.
What were the differences you found between audiences when you were dancing and audiences in stand-up comedy? I know it's a weird question, but like, do you have the same issue with people like feeling like you need to engage with someone more to get more out of them?
Stripping audiences are much easier. I think I've talked about this before, because you don't have to do much to impress them when you've got your tits out.
Right, yeah.
You've already got them.
But there's like 17 other pairs there for them to, so I feel like, do you have to stand out even more? Tell some jokes.
You're thinking of, so there's different types of stripping. I wasn't in a strip club, so I didn't have to compete to make my money. Whereas in a strip club, it's very competitive. And you've got to try and get them to pick you. Whereas I did a different kind of stripping, where I was already picked. I just got booked to do a job. Would go to the job, and there was usually like maybe anywhere between. Sometimes you were the only girl. Sometimes there would be 2 or 3 others. But you were just booked for a certain amount of time, and you were paid. It wasn't like competitive in any way, so it was a lot easier. Because I couldn't actually do that. I couldn't do the whole pick me.
Yeah, my wife and I joke all the time. She's like, this girl's making like $100,000 a month selling pictures of her feet. I'm like, get your toes out there on the internet.
Yes.
She's like, I'm like, no,
yes.
no one.
I also know someone getting a lot of money just from foot pics.
Yeah, it's crazy.
People will pay for anything.
But not even that. Like, I know we don't monetize TikTok here, but like, there's just social media things that I hate, which is, the split screen thing with them just pointing up at stuff, like reacting to other people's videos.
Oh, yeah. I saw a video about this the other day.
Yeah.
Actually, it was John Pinder shared it. He was
right.
He was someone ranting about that and someone doing it and then him doing it.
Right.
But I do think it's a lazy way of creating content. But I also am not going to judge, because don't hate the player, hate the game.
That's it,
Like, we're all just trying to make it. Unfortunately, the way of the world seems to be, especially in entertainment, is you need to have a social media profile.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I mean, if it works, it works, right? Yeah. So the people that are selling pictures of their feet and making hundreds of $1,000s, all the people that are getting millions upon millions of views and likes and shares of them just reacting to something. But I think even there are some people that are just downloading those videos of other people reacting and uploading it themselves.
Yeah, it's quite lazy.
It's so lazy. It's like, have an original. Yeah. This is why, like, my wife.
There's a guy online who's blown up, so he's over 1 million followers, and he's always talking about really deep, dark topics and like the Epstein files and like women's rights, but he's acting like he's this ally and this supporter, but he rips people's content off, makes it look like his own. And then when they're in the comments, so he's pretending to be this like feminist supporter or ally, but then he gets called out, and then he just like block and delete all the comments.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of grifters online.
So to stay original, and I mean, my wife is always saying, "Oh, you should do something like that." I'm like, "Yeah, but they did it."
Yeah,
But
it's a hard one because I feel like someone has told me once, or I've seen it online somewhere, like there's no original thoughts anymore because like everything's been done.
Yeah.
And you just have to put your flavour on it, I guess. It is hard. And like every time I've done jokes before and then I've ended up seeing someone else having a slightly similar bit, and then I start panicking thinking, are they going to think that I've... and it's just, the fact is, like, especially as a woman or a mum, like there's only so many jokes about our kids or our bodies that we can make, and as long as you're doing your own spin on it. But yeah, I definitely think some people just straight off rip people off.
Yeah.
But then I think there's other times where it's just more along the lines of parallel
Thinking,
thinking and stuff like that, or inspiration.
Yeah.
And I do think sometimes people are a bit off the mark when they're like, oh, he copied me.
Yeah, that's
like,
it. Well, it's funny. The parallel thinking thing is crazy because I had this bit about... I've said this on the podcast before, so sorry if you're watching for repeating myself, but I had this bit about Christians saying grace before eating pussy. I'm like, do Christian guys say grace before they eat pussy? Like, Father God, for this pussy I'm about to receive, you know. And then I watched Dion Cole. I don't know if you know Dion Cole. He's an American guy, African-American guy. He's really funny. He did the same, word for word, the same thing, but it was more like it comes in from praying. He was talking, he's a bit of a religious guy, but he was talking about leftovers. He goes, you're supposed to say grace over leftovers, because you already said it once, you know. And then he goes into the other bit, and I was like, damn, I can't. I mean, technically, you can't own a premise, right? If you got a different twist on it, you can. But I stopped doing it altogether because he's on Netflix and stuff, so I'm.
Yeah, look, I think if you know that you didn't rip it off, and it was, I think if you had that thought process and you came up with it, I think it's fine. You obviously run the risk of sometimes people might be like, oh, I've had it happen. I've had people comment on one of my videos saying, oh, this sounds exactly like so-and-so, or you could have at least credited her. I'm like, I don't know the bit you're talking about, and I admire that person. I'm not ripping, like, this is just a true... It was literally a true... The joke was a true story that happened to me. And so I'm like, well, if... sorry, our kids did the same fucking thing.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like, if you open yourself up online and try and get a following, and because you have to, in this industry, you have to try and build this online presence, like you were saying... You open yourself up to everything. So it's just and mostly people only interact, not mostly, but a large percentage of them interact negatively.
Yeah.
They just want to comment shit.
It's an unfortunate thing about the world.
Yeah.
That I find Facebook's worse for it than Instagram. Like, Instagram, my fans find me and my fans comment. Facebook, I don't know where the fuck people why my page is coming up on all these people that hate my guts. But it's also good because that hatred fuels the post. It goes viral, and then people who do like you will find you. But unfortunately, the people who stop and take the time to comment are sometimes like only the ones, especially I find on Facebook, it's like
someone's aunties on Facebook who are like,
who
is this
boomers.
girl? You were saying something about Adam Bloom before. What were you saying?
Yes. Just at the beginning when we were talking about like writing a new joke, and I think you were talking about whether if you had to explain it to the audience because they didn't know about the quiz bit. Yeah. And he has like a whole section in there about like the balloon leaks.
Yes.
And like if you're kind of giving it away too much before you get to the pop.
Yeah.
So you got to find. I'm sure there will be a way around finding it. But yeah, I love Adam. I've worked with him. So he helped me with my jokes last year for the show. So actually I started working with him the year before. So I had him as like my sort of like mentor, helping to tighten up some of my newer jokes because I had to come up with I had half the show was just 30 minutes material that I'd already been doing for the last couple of years for my first solo, and then I had to come up with a brand new half an hour and didn't have as much time to work it at open mics and stuff. So I got his help with the new stuff. And yeah, he was really, really learned a lot from him.
He's pretty brutally honest as well. Like if he doesn't react. I remember he told me he was going to steal one of my jokes once.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's a huge compliment.
Yeah.
But he also, and again, I'm repeating myself, but I showed him like a 5-minute set that I did at Next Gen. And he paused it and he goes, do you have the word hack here? I was like, shit. Yes, we do. He goes, right.
Yeah.
Remove that joke.
I was meant to be doing another show this year. So I was working with him again last year and he's the same. He would be like, yeah, it's funny, but it's hack. And I'm like, okay. We'll get it and do something else, which I like that he makes yourself hold yourself to a higher standard.
That's it. Well, and then he did give me the good feedback. He was like, he referenced one of my jokes, which he thought it was great. He goes, that's your gold. He goes, every joke should be trying to achieve that. And I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then he also, not specifically him, but it was through that I sort of discovered, like, I know we know on paper, like tags and punchlines, but I realized that I was often trying to use a tag as a punchline. It wasn't doing very well. And I have to be honest with myself and go, maybe it's just a tag. Maybe it's just not funny. Maybe it's, and then work on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I hate that feeling of when you like a bit, but it's not getting the response that you thought it should.
Is there a bit that you have that's like that?
I've got
just
a really
want to work?
Okay, so I've got this really fun bit that I love doing, but then the ending, it's like I guess I haven't found the ending yet because it's getting laughs, but then the bit that I ended on, it doesn't get a big enough laugh, and I'm like, I've got to find another way to finish this, but I love the joke. Yeah. I'm trying to. Honestly, it's been so long since I've done this. It's been more than 6 months since I would have said this joke. So the joke was about my breakup and how like going through a breakup, the algorithm knows that I've been sad. Yeah. And so you get, seeing all these like positive life quotes and like, you're going to go through what you go through and all this shit. And then my joke is that, so I'm like, cause I've just been through a breakup. So I'm like, I'm never going to let another man break my heart. And, so I say that I'm converting, I'm swapping teams, batting for the other side. And then say that I'm converting to narcissism. Yeah. Because narcissists don't get hurt. You can't hurt them. And so I've got this whole bit about a narcissistic life coach. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And I fucking love it. And I love it because, again, it's like I haven't seen anyone else do anything similar. And so it's, but it's also just, it's really fun for me. And I've got all these good tags and bits, but it just doesn't have the big, strong finish that I need it to have at the moment. Yeah.
That's great. I mean, it's a good problem to have, and it's a great premise. Like the idea of someone it's their profession to help you become more of a narcissist.
Yeah. And I think there's probably enough narcissists out there, but as someone on the other side, it's like I think. I don't think I think it's funny because a lot of life coaches I think are already a bit narcissistic. I see a lot of it online because I used to. Fun story. I have a life coaching certificate. Right. Cool. Have you met me? I should not be life coaching anyone. My life's a mess. But no, I do have a life coaching certificate. I want to.
I love the idea of like one of your life coaching students is like sees that you've like had a breakup or like gone through it, and you're like, I think I need a new life coach. My life coaches.
Yeah. So funny story about my life coaching certificate is that I signed up for it. It was like $5,000. And I did it during COVID, pulled the money out of my super for it because we were all like, YOLO, let's spend our fucking life savings. And then I remember it was this online course, but it's a pretty big one. It's like in Australia, it's run by an Australian woman. They get thousands of students and whatever. And they had this big lecture at the beginning saying, just because you've paid for the course doesn't mean you're going to get a certificate at the end. You have to do the work. You have to do the work. I did not fucking do the work, and they still sent me a certificate because like I started off and I was like, and then I kind of just lost interest and was doing other things. I think I started comedy, so I was like, okay, I'm going to be a comedian now, not a life coach. And then so I fully just accepted that I'd wasted the $5,000, wasn't going to be a life coach. And then when I got the certificate, I was actually really pissed off. I was like, this makes the whole thing feel like a scam.
Yeah.
It's a fucking scam because I didn't do the fucking work.
Yeah.
I don't deserve this. But I'm a life coach.
They make it sound like it's this real. You have to really be qualified.
Yeah.
You paid your $5,000.
They're just saying that to make themselves look more credible.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they're giving everyone the certificate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people.
And it's not like accredited through
Yeah.
anyone but themselves.
This guy Bill.
Yeah.
Real narcissist. It'd be funny. You can go in that direction of like, so I'm dating my narcissist life coach or something, or be my narcissist life coach fell in love with me. I was like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something like that. So then what's next? So you're taking a break. You're going to build a new show.
So I was ready to start. I was meant to be debuting another new show. Not debut. Is it? Yeah, debuting.
Yeah.
A new show this year, and then because I've just got a family situation that's kind of put my life on hold for a little while, and that's ongoing. So I really don't know when I can get back to comedy just yet. But I've decided I need to still keep working on comedy behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So because my show was almost ready, and then I was meant to do a trial show last year, and that had to get cancelled at the last minute. And my process is I'm a last minute girl, so I still needed to come up with about 20 minutes, and I know what the way I work. I would have done that in that last week. But then it got cancelled, and so I didn't do that. So I still need to come up with 20 minutes for this show. But because of the stuff that's happened between now and then, I'm like, well, maybe the show will be different now. I still want to, so the show's fun. Like, it was a lot more fun than my last show. So it was sort of, again, it was like about going through, life changes and breakups and things like that. But then what it taught me, and I was like, so I've got jokes about how rather than focusing on, what the ex did wrong or what was wrong with them, it was like, why do I keep end up? And it was very introspective this time, but making fun of and owning my own toxic traits. So this is another bit that I love, where I talk about how I can be a little bit toxic. Like, I am a people pleaser, so I love bomb. I'm 100%. I'm a love bomber. I will be whatever the fuck you want me to be. Like, please love me. But I'm not doing it in a, like, there's people who love bomb in like a mean, manipulative way, and then there's people who love bomb in a you need to work on your self-esteem. And gaslighting. So I've got this bit about gaslighting. How I also gaslight, but in a nice way. I'm a positive gaslighter. And the bit is when my an ex-partner would I would say to my ex-partner, no, baby, it's not even that small. Yeah. And then I'm like, I don't even like the big ones.
It's really big for your age.
Actually, this is a bit that I feel like I need to work on the act out. So I do those tags, and then I finish it with so I say, I don't even like the big ones. Yeah. And then I'm like, and then I really commit to the bit, and then I pretend to gag on it, even though it barely makes it past my front teeth. I'm like, oh my God, it's so bad. Which I find fucking hilarious. Thank you.
That's great.
But I just feel like that part doesn't get as big. Like, I already get big laughs before that, and then that part's just not. And I'm like, that's fucking funny. Fuck you. And so I'm like, what am I doing wrong here? So I need another add to it, or I need to like launch harder into the act out, maybe.
Yeah. I guess when you commit to the act out, because I did this thing with an Indian accent the other day, which I'm Sri Lankan, so the accents are pretty interchangeable. But I was getting a couple of laughs, and there was like 4 Indian people in the crowd, so I was kind of making fun of them a little bit. They were laughing, but then for some reason in my head, in the moment, I just doubled down, and I really went enthusiastic with the accent, and it got a much bigger laugh. I think if you just bite it and like overcommit, it could. I mean, you could fly or sink, but I think it's funny. It's great.
Yeah, it's really. I was really enjoying writing my new show, and then obviously with things having to have been put on hold, was a little bit disappointing, but I feel like in a way it's been a good thing, because I know that by the time this show does eventually come out, I've gonna have worked on it for so much longer. It's gonna be so much better than it would have been had I debuted it earlier this year. So I'm also, because I ended up back in the adult industry, so I was a stripper before I started comedy. I wasn't just a stripper. I've done many jobs. I've been in corporate. I've been a project manager. I'm smarter than I look. And like I've worked in construction and mining and stuff.
Yeah.
So I can do it all. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was stripping immediately before I started comedy. Actually, while I was doing, when I first, I was still
How
stripping.
long were you doing it for? Because you had a lot of careers.
How long was I stripping
Yeah,
for?
yeah.
Not even that long. So I actually spent a lot more time doing normal jobs.
Other things, yeah. So it was
Yeah.
such a small part of your career as an adult that people kind of
Yeah,
go,
I feel like
she's an ex-stripper.
I feel like
Yeah.
people just I've been labelled as
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
the ex-stripper or
Do you-
she's the OnlyFans girl, and I
Yeah,
find that
yeah.
it is a bit frustrating because
Yeah, good.
I know that I'm so much more.
Yeah, yeah.
And not that I'm ashamed of those parts, like they're part of me and what I do and who I am. But I am so much more. Like I used to have a memorial business, which I started from scratch after my dad died.
Yeah.
And I built it up from scratch. I was the only one in Australia doing what we did at the time. So I imported a machine from Germany, and we were getting natural stones from WA, and we were cutting off a face, leaving the back like rough
Yeah,
and
that's so
natural. And we're
cool.
making headstones out of that.
That's
No one
great.
else was doing that.
Yeah.
And we would doing photo engravings directly onto the
Yeah.
surface. And I ended up doing smaller ones and making garden memorials, and I ended up having this successful business, selling them all around Australia. And I did that for about 4 years.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful business. Like it was really heartfelt,
Yeah.
and it was really special because you were creating these special like memories of people's loved ones. And I would also have like really cool experiences from it. Like I would meet people, and I remember doing this stone once. And the whole time I'm doing this stone, like normally I'd been doing it for years by then, and I'm pretty confident, I know exactly what I'm doing. And for some reason, when I was working on this stone, the whole time it was like there was this little voice in my head telling me like, nah, it's got to be perfect. You got to keep it's not there yet. Like the editing's really important with getting a really good engraving on the stones. And so anyway, it just was like the most frustrating stone to do. And I just felt like there was this pressure on me to get it perfect. Anyway, when I finally, and I got it perfect. It was beautiful. I go meet this woman to give her stone, and it was her husband that had passed away, and she had like 2 young children and stuff. And so the kids and her were also on the stone. So the stone was quite big, and there was like, it was really, really beautiful. But I said to her, I was like, oh, this, like, I said, not going to lie, like this was hard. Like I said the whole time it was like, I just like felt this, like I just felt like it had to be perfect. And so I said, it took me a long time. And she just started laughing, and she said her husband was a perfectionist. And she goes, I don't doubt that he was sitting over your shoulder telling you had to get it perfect, and things like that would happen all the time. And I know it sounds a bit woo-woo, but I believe in woo-woo. That yes, there's definitely weird things would happen.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I mean, again, with my father passing on April Fool's Day, I was like, that's so him.
The joke writes itself.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, I didn't even click until I don't know. Until I think we had the funeral a week ago today.
Yeah.
So it's very recent, you know, and I didn't think of that until Sunday on the way to that gig. But yeah, it's cool. You've done so many things. Is there a career that you sort of look back on that you were most proud of, or was it probably that?
No, the one I'm most proud of is comedy. I think what I have, I know I still have so much room to grow as a comedian. I never feel good enough. Watching myself back, like I filmed my 1 hour show last year, and watching it was really hard. Like I was like, oh, and I'm so critical of a lot, and I'm like, see so much room for improvement, but I'm excited about that as well. Cause I'm like, well, if this is where I am now, and this is, you know, I've managed to, without being the best comedian that I feel I can be yet, I've still managed to tour the country and make a living from it. And so I'm super fucking proud of myself.
You should be. And because you're out there and your name is becoming quite a recognizable sort of thing. Even your image is out there as like, oh yeah, you show someone, they go, oh yeah, I've seen her clips, blah blah blah. You're really getting out there. Congrats, good job.
Thank you.
I think I'm just gonna. I think I'm probably just another one of the crowd because you stand out. You know what I mean? And I feel like you probably, when you started succeeding, it was an obvious thing for most people to see you succeed. You know, or is it?
I think like when I first started, and I think that's like when I first started, I remember thinking I'm just going to like be great and blow up the next day, because I did my first gig and it went well. And then I got booked for my first like pro gig like a few weeks later. But in hindsight, the guy was probably just trying to get in my pants.
Is that in Perth?
Yeah, I'm not naming names. Because you would know him. I wasn't actually that funny. Because when you first start, you're messy, you're too wordy, you're long-winded, and I still struggle with being long-winded. But people, there was a few comedians that called it at the beginning. They said you've got the personality, you've got the look, and you've got the stage presence. You just need to work on the material. But they a few people early on told me that they knew that I was going to do well, and I believed it. I think believing it is the difference between doing it and not doing it, because I think for a while there I was like, I started not believing it, and so I focused more on my tattooing and I put comedy to the side, and then the moment that I was like, no, I actually really fucking want this, and I just went all in and I made it fucking happen. So I think it's the belief. You've got to want it, and you've got to believe you can do it.
And prepare for when it happens, right?
And hustle.
Yeah, that's it. Because I think once you're, if you're prepared, right, and you're writing jokes and you're learning how to write jokes and you've got the material down and you've hustled and you've done your open mics and you know you've got something, then when the call comes in and, you know, someone who doesn't want to get in your pants is like, I want to give you a real shot, like it's 10 minutes, it's whatever, it's paid or it's closing or whatever, then you're ready. When your name's called, you're just like, yeah, I'm ready. Because other than the fact that on the flip side, it could be where it's just your turn, you know, where it's like, oh, we've cycled through everyone, let's get Jared up. Yeah. And if I'm not ready and I don't take it seriously, but I think, because I started a bit late, right? I started when I turned 39. Yeah. Not that long ago. But I had, same thing. I had my first paid spot after a couple of months, which was too soon. It was Johnny at the Lounge. He was not trying to get in my pants. Because he hasn't given me one since.
It went well then.
No, it was fine. He gave me a few. But then I think it was probably a bit too soon. And I think I had the same thing where I was like, I'm fine being on stage. I've got this. I had the confidence, whatever, without being cocky. But it was just the material was fine. But I think that was it. It was just the material was fine.
So I remember someone telling me when I first started comedy that they said, you're pretty much going to be dog shit for the first 3-4 years. And they said most people start getting good around 4 years. And I remember going, I'm not going to take that long. They were fucking right. Like you can still be funny and you can still, but you don't like those. Like I learned so much about comedy being on touring and last year, just because the stage time, because I got more hours of stage time than most people, because I did like well over 100 shows last year, not including gigs for other people. That was just 100 of my shows on tour. So that's over 100 hours plus whatever gigs I did. And so the stage time was so invaluable. And I definitely think you can have a natural ability and be good, but it'll still take a few years for you to figure things out. There's the occasional anomaly, and they're really fucking annoying. But we just
come in and skyrocket.
Yeah. Some people do it, but I think I love my comedy journey. I can't wait to get back to it. It's actually been quite hard to be away from it because I forgot. I think I got used to not, because I haven't gigged not gigged properly in 6 months. Like I did a couple of short spots during Fringe, just because all my friends from like around the world and stuff were here and they were encouraged me to come out. But then there was other issue. It just ended up making it too hard. So I did a gig recently for the first time. My own show, so I did a Bad Mum show in Brisbane. And doing that was like, fuck, I've missed this. Yeah. Like it felt good to be on stage. It felt good to be connecting with the audience. It felt good to know that I could still do it, because I was like, I don't know if I can. I told a joke in so long. I was like, do I even remember anything? And it was really daunting at the beginning, but then I got into the swing of it. And then by the end, I was just having fun. Yeah. And
it's cool. I guess that's how you know you're sort of wired for it, meant for it.
Oh, 100%. The moment I found, like, I've done so many different jobs and careers throughout my life, and the moment I found comedy, I was like, this is it. And so many people along the way have been there've been some negative people, you know, you don't always have supporters in your personal life or families, and there've been people like, oh, what the fuck is she doing, or this is stupid, or what, this is someone said to me last year that, oh, you and your pipe dream. I'm like, well, my pipe dream's looking pretty fucking good now, isn't it? And I'm making more than you'll ever fucking dream of, so fuck you.
Name and shame. Who was it?
I can't. For legal reasons.
I mean, it's not a pipe dream if you're living the dream.
It was so funny when they said it at a time that I'm like, dude, I've literally, like, I'm already already successful as in terms of being able to make a living off it. Yeah. And it's only gotten better. This is it. So my success feels fucking good knowing that there's people out there that didn't think I could do it. Yeah. It feels nice.
And imagine like Nikki in 2000, what was it, 2019, did you say when you started?
2021. So 2019, Nikki couldn't have imagined this. I was pregnant. Yeah, right. Had a baby. Was still married in 2019. Yeah. So my life now compared to what it was then is phenomenally different.
But imagine chickening out in 2021 and not doing it.
Yeah, exactly. So I've always had my biggest. My biggest piece of advice to anyone out there is feel the fear and do it anyway. Yeah. Because imagine what if I wasn't crazy enough to risk, because I was scared. Yeah. I was scared of bombing and not being funny enough, and I'm scared of bombing and not being funny enough every time I get on fucking stage. But you feel the fear and you do it anyway, and imagine how much life you would lose, how much life I would have lost and how much experience I would have lost in this great life that I'm building now if I wasn't able to feel the fear and do it anyway. Yeah. So that's my little takeaway.
Yeah, because if you
do the thing, even if it scares you, that's even better. That's more the reason to do it.
Yeah, because if you don't try, you'll never. Oh, it sounds so cliche, but if you don't do it, you'll never do it. Yes. Like just unless you get it, you get it, and it really. At this level as well, where you're not afraid of bombing, it could happen, whatever. But you're not.
I'm still afraid of bombing.
It's not going to stop you.
I'm just willing to do it.
Yeah, it's not going to stop you.
Someone told me that at the beginning. I can't remember who it was, but it was probably more than one person. They literally said at the beginning, you have to become comfortable with bombing. Yeah. Because you can let a bomb rattle you, or you can let a bomb make you go away and go, okay, that didn't work. How do I fix this next time? There ends up being people who can't ever have a bad bomb because their joke might not land well, but then they will deal with it like a pro, and they will find a laugh. There's certain comedians that I notice their jokes actually bomb a lot, but then they walk off getting big laughs because then they will just acknowledge the bomb and get laughs from that, which apparently that can be a bit hack sometimes too, but but I think it's just accepting that not everything you do will work for every crowd. Yeah. And learning to not get rattled by that is a huge strength. Yeah. I'm still working on it, but
acknowledging the bomb, I don't think is hack. I think it's a necessity.
Yeah.
Because
I only think it's hack when that's your whole set.
No, yeah. Like
if you're just gonna bomb every joke.
Well, that didn't work.
If you're gonna bomb every joke and then know you're gonna get a laugh at the reaction to the bomb.
Yeah. That's fair enough. But other than that, it's just market research. If you bomb and you're like, all right, cool, well, that didn't work. You guys didn't like that. And you go back and try and fix it.
Yeah. Whereas I'm pretty sure I've seen over the years, I've seen people bombing the same joke for like 5 years. Yeah. And it never lands.
Yeah, fix it.
And then maybe that's their bit though. It's like, I'm going to bomb this joke so I can get a laugh about you feeling sorry for me. And then
well, Brendan Burns gave me great advice. Brendan Burns was like, I ran this really terrible joke. It was very hack by him. I really wish I didn't do it. This guy's such a pro. And he was like, it sounds like that's the first punchline you thought of. And I was like, well, yeah. And he goes, write 10 punchlines, because it'll give your brain a chance to sort of come up with things that you might not normally. Even if you write one, you think you got it, write 10 more. Yeah. And sometimes the 10th one might be even funnier than that one. And it'll look like you put more work in. Yeah. And then you'll have 10 options that you could play with.
I really need to start writing more. I need to get more committed to my writing practice. Yeah. I found, I went on a self-imposed social media ban for a few weeks. And the writing that came out of that few weeks, that's where I got my narcissistic life coach bit, the bit about the gagging on the small dick bit. So I definitely feel like I need to remove the distraction of social media to get into a really good writing practice. But I feel like I'm hungry for it again.
Me too. Yeah. I used to love just sitting down with a page and just writing whatever came to my mind. Mm-hmm. And then also, when you're in the shower or you're driving, when something just comes to you, you can sort of jot it down. Literally
have to write things down the moment it pops into your head, because I know that I've had ideas before. I'm like, oh, fuck, that's good. And then you go to write it down later. I'm like, oh, what was it? What was it? And then you're like, what if that was the best joke in the world and you've forgotten it, you loser? So you have to make a habit of writing things down. I keep it in my phone app. I know.
But anyway, we'll wrap up there. But thank you so much for taking the time out and joining me.
It was fun.
I'm gonna try and do these things with groups, right? So like me and a co-host, and then 2 other people, and have a big group. So whoever you're comfortable with in a group setting, whoever you want, and just throw a dart, whoever you want.
Yeah.
We'll get it going and have a big group one, even an evening one. Have a couple of drinks, have some snacks.
Cool.
Yeah,
That sounds fun.
hell yeah! Thank you so much, Nikki Justice. Make sure you follow her on all the socials as well at Nikki Justice Comedy.
Nikki Justice Comedy.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you.
Peace out. See you next time.